want to talk about, the Lord shall lead, a cheap offering. A cheap offering. 15 pounds of gold, 20 ounces of silver. If it were bought today and laid here on the altar as an offering to God, what would we do for that man? How would we recognize him for bringing 15 pounds of gold, 20 ounces of silver, and saying, this is my offering this morning? Would we name a section of the building in his honor? Would we get him a designated parking space? Would we name this building after him for 15 pounds of gold? We know what gold costs today. 20 ounces of silver, an offering to God. But then the widow comes and she gives her 2 $1 bills. How would we recognize her? How would we commemorate her giving this morning? There is a way that God could look at 15 pounds of gold and call it a cheap offering. He could look at 2 $1 bills drawn from a cloth purse and smile and say, well done. You see, there is a difference between giving that which is a sacrifice and that which is... I ought to obey God rather than man. I ought to obey God rather than my carnal nature. I know sometimes it hurts to say no. Sometimes it hurts when you have to give up the right or give up the wrong for the right. But I come to tell you that when you learn that in that hurt, God will take me to another level. In that hurt, God is raising me up. When I present my body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto him. That means even when it comes down to my worship, David says I can't offer to God something that costs me nothing. Too many saints in the kingdom are offering unto God something that didn't cost them a thing. They come and enjoy the privileges of being in the kingdom. They enjoy the privileges of being in the church. They enjoy the lovely seats. They enjoy the building. They enjoy all the parts of the church and the kingdom, but they don't give a dime. They don't ever sacrifice. They say, Lord, here's my offering. Rather than me sitting on seats I didn't pay for, shouting and tearing up pews I ain't going to help repair. Rather than drinking up, soaking up the light bill I'm not going to cover. But sometimes you got to put in your mind that God, since I have these blessings, I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to give until it hurts. There's some people can't say amen to that. That's why you are here to grow right now, because God is giving you mercy. God is giving you another chance. We've already had offering. It's too late to sacrifice this Sunday. But if the Lord that you see next Sunday, you ought to make up in your mind that I'm going to give till I sacrifice. Stop letting the devil tell you how you're going to pay your light bill. Same way you've been paying it. And not because of your job. It's because the Lord covers your bill. You know, there are times when your job ran out. You didn't starve to death. There are times when money got low, but God made a way. So why can't you trust him with your money? Why can't you trust him with what he put in your hand? And there are some witnesses here that will tell you that when you start trusting God with the little bit that you do have, he's got a way of putting more in your pocket. There's a little boy had 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread, but he put it in Jesus' hand. And when he put it in Jesus' hand, he went back home with 12 baskets of leftover. Somebody will tell you that God will give you an overflow. If you just learn to trust him, you won't live paycheck to paycheck.